says we're live. When am I going to get my cue?
Welcome to season 1, episode 13 of the Neutral Zone. I'm very happy and pleased to be able to do this on Chicago soil with my good friend and cherished friend, I must say,
Oh, brother.
Chris Stovinato, a guy that I would go stick my neck out for and do anything for. A good friend, and I know he'd do the same for me. So we are here together.
Within reason.
We've been in the trenches, won championships together, been through this pandemic together. How you
Kicked
doing
off
today,
teams
Stav?
together.
Sorry?
Kicked off teams together.
Yeah, Dynamo.
No.
Well, it's good to see you, buddy. It's good to be back. Thanks for the warm welcome on Sunday.
We needed you back so we could do this show with high quality internet connectivity as opposed to the Great White North where they're apparently, what are they, on 1G up there or something?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It was a real challenge with the internet. But the good thing is we are here now with high speed internet. Thank God to Comcast. Who's your service provider, by the way?
Yeah, we're in Xfinity, Comcast.
Yeah, it's good. I was very, very happy to be able to have good internet. But listen, let me tell you something, or let me ask you something. You've been involved in some really, really interesting games over the last few weeks, and you've played on ice surfaces with shoes on. So we'd like to hear a little bit what's going on, Stomps, and how are you enjoying it, and what are you hearing out there?
Well, everybody's still playing every chance we get. We have had some interesting games. I mean, there's been a weekday during the day game, kind of let's blow off work and play hockey, which I was not able to do, but I heard that was good. We had the first night game at Woodridge. We've had not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, there was a game played in a burst of snow that made the floor treacherous. So yeah, there's been a lot of interesting things that have happened.
And nobody got hurt, right?
Fortunately, yeah. I think people understand, the kind of how to navigate that. I mean, it was the night game was tough. It was really too bad because the weather was just beautiful. I mean, if the floor would have been good, wow, it would have been outstanding. I think people were pretty surprised by how good it looks under the lights there. So yeah, it was fun.
No, that's really good. There are some special shoes I understand that you can use for this surface. Have you been able to explore those shoes and the price points?
No, but only our friend John Trapani had ridiculous shoes on this past Sunday. He wore like those business, I don't even know what you call them, rubbers. For land, they slide over your existing shoes.
I feel like those shoes you wear to protect your dress shoes at work.
Yeah, that's what they were, and
my dad used to
wear them. How it was for the footing, and he said the jury was still out. He was very unsure of if it was worth it, but apparently there are deck hockey shoes and deck hockey shoes for wet conditions.
This is a huge.
$80.
That's blockbuster news, actually. $80. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what I didn't look, but I think that's what John said. But we'd have to look it up online. There's companies that sell them.
Well, I saw them. There was a couple of different price points. I also noticed Trapani was modeling his legs as well.
He's been interesting lately. He came the one weekend. He wore a Grinch that stole Christmas mask during the pregame.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that picture of it is posted on Hockey Monsters in case you want to see it.
I saw Steve Fiorito. Is that how you
There
say
you
it?
go.
Steve Fiorito. He posted an interesting thing on the sign-up sheet. He had a picture with Joe Biden's face, but I didn't seem to understand the rest of it.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't sure, but maybe he can explain. Maybe he can come on the show one day and explain that to us. You know, him and I had a really good discussion about the vaccine before the game,
Oh,
and the puck was dropping, and he was still talking about it. And I was just grateful that he was wearing his glasses and he was able to stay focused. Although we did lose that game, that was a tough loss on Sunday. I have to tell you, Stubbs, it's a tough loss because we had a 4-goal lead, didn't we?
yes, we did.
Yeah.
Not as tough as the prior Sunday where you had two completely one-sided games. It was. It happens though. I do not blame the roster or whatever you want to call it, the folks that make up the teams. They do the best they can to put the teams, just how the chips fell.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we should do a pilot project though, if this continues, because I don't like being on the losing end, and I know Andre does a great job, but I mean, there's others out there. Maybe we should do a pilot. Maybe the media should start taking over the games and putting together the.
No, I don't want to do that. Count me out.
I'm just kidding. Listen, all the management team at Woodridge, kudos to you guys. You guys do such a great job. I was very pleased, although I was out of town, I was very pleased to hear that you guys did a weekday game under the lights. Nice work in figuring out the lights as well. That's awesome.
Well, we didn't really figure anything out. It turns out we were in the middle of the second game. We weren't in the middle of it. There was maybe 30 seconds left. I was on the floor when the lights went out. So they are on a timer. They go off right at 10 p.m.
Okay.
So that button doesn't work. There is a button, but they just turn them on every night and they run till 10 p.m. and that's it. So, we were excited about the night game. I went out there the day or so before. I put a sign on there to try to hold the rink. And when I got there, the soccer guys were out there and I talked to them and they said they were going to leave relatively early. So, all our guys started showing up. They actually left earlier than they were planning to. But
was that out of courtesy or was that out of?
I don't know. They
must have been sliding all over the place too, right?
They were. You know what? They seemed they were okay with it. But you could tell it was a weird day because it was a real nice 50-degree day. It was warm for December, obviously, and then the temperature dropped about 15 degrees or so as soon as the sun went down. And I think it just put condensation on the floor. So it was tough. It was about as tough a floor as I've ever played on. But, like I said, it was a great equalizer for me. It slowed the game up to my pace.
Yeah, but you're a cerebral player, so you can work at every speed.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you this. Did the game on Sunday, the surface on Sunday compare to that, or was it a little bit better?
Oh, it was better, much better.
The second game, the surface really turned out nicely. It dried up nice because the sun started coming through.
It changes quickly. Sunday, I got there very early to check on the floor. And there was a little frost on the floor. And as I walked, I could feel my feet crunching on the tiles. So I reported back on the app, but everybody was up to come out, and it was good that we did, because the floor to me wasn't all that bad.
I didn't think it was too bad. I thought it was manageable. I mean, I wiped out on one breakaway I had, and
Oh yeah, that's right. And
that kind of threw me off for the rest of the game. But
I think you got the ball to Sammy and he failed to convert. That would have been a great assist on your part to, take a tumble like that and get a point, but he failed. He failed you, quite
yeah,
frankly.
yeah, he failed a lot in that game.
Wow.
His defensive coverage was less than stellar, but he knows that
Oh,
that's a work in progress. I've taken Sammy under my wing over the last few years. I hope he's out there listening. I think he's such a talented scorer, great teammate. He's hungry for leadership. We just got to work on his defensive game. If we can just work on that with him and Scotty as our top line in that first game, offensive juggernauts to say the least, but defensively, they got a lot of work to do when they play together. Either split them up or do something about that, because I'll tell you why. It segued into what I was about to say. They could not contain the likes of Steve Grass and Joe Gleason, who I believe was an incredible tandem, who I think should be credited for that win. They were just phenomenal.
well, we managed to hold Timmy to 8 goals. So we held him to 8 goals. He only had 1 assist, which just goes to show that he's not much of a team player.
So what do we got? We got to keep a tally here. So Sammy, Scotty Tuhati, and what's his name? You just mentioned him.
Him.
And Tim. So we're knocking some players down today. So this has truly been a great episode for the Neutral Zone. I
We're
did.
a little bit salty.
Yeah, well, I'm a little salty. You know why, but we're not going to get into that. Okay, so a couple notables. I just thought I'd say. I thought Lou came out to that second game really dressed for success.
Well, he said he wore all the hockey gear because he thought it might be a little slick, and if he goes down, he'd be padded up, and that's what he did. He
Yeah,
looked like Cowboy Flett from the Philadelphia Flyers circa 1974.
and he also looked like one of the boys on my son's hockey team that does home dress. Like you're wearing the whole gear, but you're wearing your running shoes. But kudos to Lou. He's a man that makes his own decisions. He's a man that doesn't care what people think. I mean, he's made a couple of
Right.
comments to me over and over. He does not care what the media thinks. He reminds me a lot of Kawhi Leonard from the Toronto Raptors. Doesn't really talk too much, but when he talks, it's pretty compelling. But thank you, Lou, for not giving a crap about what we say. We need to have people like that out there. There's others that get really sensitive and they like to be, complimented on the show. Lou's not one of them. Hey, were you in the game with Josh? Was Josh in our game?
The early game?
Yeah. No, he was in the
I don't
second.
think he was.
He was sliding all over the place. Actually, Josh, if you're listening to this, you need to either wear a helmet or you need to wear the same outfit as Lou, because you were sliding all over the place, my friend. And I know you're an aggressive player, but I was getting really worried that you'd fall on your head. We don't want that.
You should have seen Alex the week before on that Sunday game when it was snowing. He must have. I mean, he was having fun with it at some point, sliding around, but at one point, I mean, he went crashing into the backboard. He lost his footing, but he bounced right back up. So he seemed to have fun with it. And Eileen was going down a number of times.
Yeah.
She was falling down.
Um,
Because I stayed around and watched most of that game, and there were a lot of people hitting the deck.
I liked seeing Eileen on Sunday in the second game. She didn't fall. She played really solid on defense. She took a couple of point shots, which was really nice to see. And then, of course, Larissa and Danielle were just completely cycling the whole road.
Right, I know, I saw that.
I
I,
love
I
that.
love to see that.
I was fortunate enough to cover them. It was a great workout for me. That's probably why I couldn't breathe after. But they really make you work hard, those two girls. So good work, Danielle, Larissa. Awesome cycling. And obviously Eileen from the point on defense, showing Eileen's versatility. I had the pleasure of meeting Eileen's dad, Roger. Really nice guy. Fun to talk to. I hope he can come out to future games and watch and maybe critique. And it's always good to have. You know how they have in the NHL, they have the dad's road trip where I don't know if they do that with the Hawks, but the Leafs every year they have a road trip where the dads go with the players.
The Hawks do with the moms.
Oh, okay, all right. So Eileen got her dad Roger to come out to the game. Maybe that's a tradition that can get started, and other people can bring their parents. It's really nice to meet people's families.
Unfortunately, my dad's not around anymore, but yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Getting back to the night game, I got to give some kudos to Gerard. I didn't realize he's in the media as he does a lot of camera work and such for I guess a lot of the sports teams in Chicago, and so he filmed a portion of both night games, and those videos are available on Hockey Monsters if you want to see, how the games in the slick conditions. But it's just really cool to see just the night game there was fun to be in, and he did a great job with his video work.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that. Like he had captions and everything, didn't he?
He did a little of that, yes. We may have to hire him.
I think we should consider it because, first of all, did you know about the relationship between Trapani and Gerard? How long they've known each other?
Sure. Yeah, we've talked about it.
Have we talked about it on the show?
We may have. I mean,
That's a special thing. Since kindergarten?
well, yeah, and then you've got myself and Dante. I mean, we go back to probably about maybe junior high, maybe right before high school type thing. I can't remember exactly. We go back to the 70s. But yeah, there's some of that, sure. I got to know John Kelly quite a bit at the night game.
Okay.
And I found out we went to the same high school, which I thought was yeah.
The same time?
No, he's 31.
No, I know.
He's in his prime.
He's a
I could be his dad.
No, I was, very happy with being back. It was enjoyable. It was a little cold. What else is happening in the world of ball hockey that you'd like to share with the viewers?
Well, that's about it. As long as we get just that much cooperation from the weather, we'll keep playing at Woodridge. I know Steve wants to try and do another night game.
Yeah, I don't think it's this week. I heard that they're not going to try to do one this week.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow's the weather's supposed to be a little So, I mean, we'll see. You just never know, right? I think it was last Christmas Eve, if I'm not mistaken. It was like 70 degrees here. So
yeah, I remember you texted me. I was in Mexico, and you said you opened your windows.
Yeah, it was incredible. So you never know what you're going to get. So maybe I'll be off the last couple weeks of the year, so maybe we can get something going. We'll see. I don't know.
That would be great. And even if we can get a morning game going, listen, let's preview this Sunday, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
We have an 8:00 game and we have a 9:30 game. Usually the 8:00 game is obviously the main event. The 9:30 has less talent, but that's okay because
by far.
Yeah, they're trying. Here's who we got so far. We have 18 guys. We have Andre the Giant, Juggerman. He's probably going to be very instrumental in making the teams. What are your thoughts about him as a player?
Hustles, could score, block shots, goes down. Yeah, solid.
I think he's one of the best shot blockers. You took the words right out of my mouth. He's a tremendous shot blocker. Steve Fiorito, as a goalie, will be the goalie. He'll be starting in between the pipes.
Well, he was really good December 6th, that Sunday. Last Sunday, he'll even tell you he was not at his best. But none of us were, so.
Well, with Steve, I would like him to just play the game. When he plays the game and he gets in the zone and wears his glasses, he can be a Vezina Trophy candidate. How about Peter Borzuta? He'll be there.
Another great shot blocker.
Yeah, you had an observation about how he holds his stick. I think it was you who noticed something about how he holds his stick.
Not during normal play, but when he goes into the corners, he'll hold the stick with one hand, but the way he turns it, it's just, you got to watch it. You got to watch for it. It's an interesting twist.
Maybe Gerard can get some of that on video and we can analyze that next time.
Yeah.
Timmy's in the 8:00 game.
Unless Timmy Jr. starts crying,
Right.
And then he'll have to drop off. Maybe we can hold him off the score sheet if he's not there.
Interestingly enough, me and you were back to back in terms of our responses.
Yes.
So that's good. I'm glad. Just for those watching out there, I'd like to just remind everyone that we're a package deal.
Well, as the media, we shouldn't even have to sign into the app to get a spot. It should be assigned to us immediately.
Right. Like we should be that. What's that reserve spot that they have on there?
Right. That's us.
Gerard will be there. That'll be nice to see Gerard
Welcome back.
Post him on Sunday.
Yeah. With his hat.
Yeah. And Sam Espinoza, he's got a lot to prove this Sunday.
You better hope you're not against each other.
Sammy's a very respectful, clean player.
Oh, he is.
I like
Sammy got hurt. Sammy got hurt in the night game.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, shot. I was on the bench, but he, stuck his stick out to block a shot. It rolled up and hit him right between the eyes.
Oh, geez.
Cut the bridge of his nose.
I
saw that. It looked worse at first.
Yeah, I saw he had a little cut on his nose. No, you know what? I'm really glad he's back to hockey. He had a rough 2020 with all these other ailments he's had. Trapani will be there. Trapani, I like to call him positionally sound. You'll very, very rarely, if at all, you'll ever find him out of position. He knows how to get in position.
I call him John Mahavlich, since he wears the Canadiens jersey.
Oh, boy.
We'll see if he brings his galoshes. By the way, going back to the Wednesday night game, so there's some guy, you might know him because you have a longer history at Woodridge than I do, but the guy he came into, I think, the second game. His name was Don. I don't know the last name. And, he totally didn't look ready to play. He was wearing like work boots, like construction boots out there, which turned out to be a positive thing for him because I think it gave him better traction on the slippery floor. But he seems to be a guy who could play. He looked like a good defenseman. He knew what he was doing. He was in the middle of the offense. He came out of nowhere. I guess he used to play at Woodridge before, and somebody talked him into getting out there for the second game.
Well, he definitely knows what he's doing by wearing.
Kudos to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Art Carpenter.
Our man Art. Art's been a big factor in goal. We call him the swearing goalie because every time there's a shot at him, he's either, he's not always swearing. He'll yell screen or I don't know. I've heard some expletives, as he's scrambling to try and make a save. It's kind of funny, actually.
I like it. I like Art. I like him. He's passionate about what he does, and I think that tournament was a big boost to his career at Woodridge. Huge boost.
Career.
How about Ryan Matera, another guy that had a strong tournament? His career is also taken off. I think the 9-inch Mills should be credited for their player development program.
If you say so. No, Ryan's been playing great. And his Benny's Beverage Depot took in 150K last Saturday.
Wow. You know, Ryan is advocating. I feel like Ryan is an up and comer, if not already on the management team. He's advocating for a special match between the 9-inch males and the what are they called? The Woodridge team in the tournament. What were they called again?
The Goblin Sharks?
The Goblin Sharks. He wants to have a special, maybe a New Year's Day game between those two teams because he feels as though we were not fully equipped with our full lineup. We didn't have our full lineup in that game. He passed that idea. So Ryan, I'm advocating for you. I think it's a great idea because I don't think the Goblin Sharks can look in the mirror and say they're really the champions unless they beat us with our full roster. Because remember what I called us, the moral champions. Again, congratulations, Goblin Sharks. You know I'm just taking a knock at you.
Oh,
How about Steve Smentek?
Steve's the man. Solid hustler, corner guy, battler.
Amazing chemistry with Timmy, just so you know. When those guys play together, they can be a force to be reckoned with. Josh Kramer. Another night.
Josh hustles. But he's young. He's got that advantage.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll hustle. He was making plays as he was falling to the ground that Wednesday night. So yeah, Josh. We always have good things to say about Josh.
Another player that I'd say has went through the player development program with the 9-inch males. Also another great player. Joe and Patty Gleason, father and son, dynamic duo.
Oh yeah. You know what you're getting from yeah, that was another moment from the Wednesday night game. We had a little dust up between Joe Gleason and Frank D.
Oh, I can see that.
You know, it happens. You know, it's hockey, so it's going to happen once in a while. But I think Frank gave him a shot in front of the net, and then as the ball went over to the corner, Gleason gave him the old shoulder and sent him to the deck. And then they had words for probably about at least 5 minutes after that happened. You know, just trying to clear the air. And
well, okay, did they settle it and shake hands after?
Well, I don't know where they left it, to be honest with you. Hopefully so.
Well, I have to tell you, I've spoken to Frank D a couple of times. Frank's he's an emotional player, and he doesn't like it when people play tough on him. I think but he realizes it after. He's a good sport. He leaves it on the court.
I think Frank likes to muck it up a lot in front of the net and stuff. He's the one who initiates body contact.
He does initiate it, but he's one of those guys. He'll initiate it, but he doesn't like it when it happens to him. But that's okay. I mean, as long as I think you can be a little aggressive. He likes to get position in front of the net. He'll jockey for position. But, a couple of times I think he's been kind of in the middle of something and he didn't take too kindly to that. He's made it known. You had a chance to see Carlos Zaskorsky for the first time.
Yeah. Solid defensive player.
Yep. He's a veteran at Woodridge.
I honestly don't know. I'm going to say that I think the 2 times I've played against him, I've yet to see his face because he wears the mask all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see more of him in the spring. And then finally, obviously, seeing the regularity of Steve Grass out there has been a real pleasure.
Yeah, Grass is the man. He knows what he's doing. He's got a shot. He'll use it. And he's a smart player. He'll move. my favorite games are when we're moving the ball around and passing it. And that's what they did to us Sunday. And
Yeah. I'll say one thing about Steve Grass. One thing that they need to start thinking about with him on Woodridge is, I know he plays defense, but I think he might want to be called on to take the draw against Sabatini because you don't beat Grass on the draws. I'll tell you that.
well, those 1, 2, 3 draws those aren't real draws.
Yeah.
So there's always a little bit of people trying to get an edge on those.
Right. And then obviously we have Frank D in there, and then we won't go player by player for the 9:30 game. We'll just list them out who they are. We won't do an assessment. Maybe we'll do that next week. But we got Ron Coletta.
Mitt Ronnie, the man. I've known Ronnie a long time too.
Yeah. Stevie J.
Good defenseman.
Stevie
J.
Stevie J's a Bearcat. Yep. He's also working on the Tuesday night league. We have Danielle.
We talked about her already.
Dante.
The great Dante.
The classy
His son Troy.
We have Eddie Switek.
Who hasn't been around lately, so
Eileen.
Good to see him. Yeah, Eileen, solid.
Rocco will be in between the pipes.
Yep, Rocco's the man.
Roger Romano.
He's I want to say he plays for the Bearcats, if I'm not mistaken.
He does. I'm wondering if he has any relationship to Ray Romano.
Oh,
everybody loves him. Okay. Chris Hay. Chris Hay
has been really good lately in goal. I mean, he was a standout. This was the night game.
Right.
Solid.
Interestingly, I agree. Interestingly enough, Josh Kramer's also a yes in this game.
That's controversial right there. Andre sent a message in Hockey Monsters that has apparently gone unheeded because he basically told him you can't be a yes yet for both games. So usually Eric would just take care of that. He'd move him out of one of them. But if you're listening, Josh, make sure you're yes for one, you're maybe for the other, and then Friday morning you can get it.
Troy is going to be in the game, but we have 3 goalies with Troy, Rocco.
Yeah.
Oh, and Chris Hay plays out.
Yeah, he'll play out. Yeah.
Tom Kovar, he's a sensation on defense.
I don't know Tom that well. I really don't.
He's not the most vocal guy. I've been playing with him for several years. He's a good, solid, stalwart defenseman. I like him.
Is he a Czechoslovakian?
I think he might be Polish, but we'll have to talk to him about that. Sam Ansari.
I call him Good Sammy. Yes.
How about Billy Little?
Sneaky shot. What?
Who's Billy Little?
He sent a message on the Hockey Monsters too. I honestly don't know who that is.
Okay. Scotty Too Hottie Leclerc.
Yeah. He's gonna have a bone to pick with you this weekend.
He will. He's such a gentleman. Hey, do you think he's related to John Leclerc?
Different spelling.
Sabo's in the 9:30. Sabatini. It's great to see him. Did I tell you he gave me the fedora back on Sunday morning?
Oh.
He gave me the fedora back, and I said, well, listen, you can hold on to it. So, Stomps, homework for you and I is we're going to have to start thinking about how we're going to hand out the fedora until the league starts. We might be doing a fedora on the Sunday games, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Sam's has been playing well since the tournament as well.
Yeah. Alexander Marcinkowski.
He's a force to be reckoned with all the time.
And then Lou Man's in there.
Lou is the stealth bomber, I call him.
Yeah. So then we got on the waiting list, we got Ronnie Coletta and we got Frank Klein.
You snooze, you lose, right?
Right. Guess what? You got to have those notifications on the app. Hey, Stomps, do you have any closing comments before we conclude the show this evening?
No, at least we got everybody caught up. And hopefully we get a nice number of views and keep things going. And we remember it's already December 15th. What did we promise our viewing audience? Fleet.
A Christmas episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that might be hard to do, especially with his schedule.
He's really busy. It might be, we might have to text him and find out even if it has to be the middle of the night, I'll wake up in the middle of the night just to do an episode with Santa. But isn't that when he's most busy?
Well, I mean, yeah, this is the time of year. He's over at Bass Pro Shops in Bolingbrook.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're going to do our best to accommodate the Christmas season, get in a real Santa here, and that's Fleet. We're going to have him on the show. We promise at some point we'll have him on with his full gear. Hey, Stomps, for the viewers out there, they have just watched episode 13, season 1 of the Neutral Zone. I couldn't be prouder of what we've done together on this show.
When does season 2 start?
And I enunciate together. Okay. Because this show wouldn't be possible without Stomps and his fact checking. He makes it real, guys. We're lucky to have you in the Chicago ball hockey scene, Stomps.
Likewise.
I'm going to close out here, sign off. Have a great evening, everybody. Continue to stay safe and stay warm.
Take care, everyone.